Oh, yeah. Woo, it's good to be back. Oh my gosh, it's cool. Oh, wow. Woo. I think it's 3 degrees Fahrenheit out right now, which for anybody not from America, I'm gonna put the Celsius right here. Oh my gosh, it's cold. All right, gotta get to the office. I'm excited to be back, excited to be back. Yeah. Morning. Okay. Wow. So as I was saying, I'm very excited to be back in the office. It's like the place that I belong, you know? Don't get me wrong, I love doing worship, and that's actually like another passion of mine as well, but it just feels good to get back to my normal routine. It's good to see this guy again too, it's good.
Oh, shoot. That's yours.
Yeah, I got a new lens. It's not new, it's new for me. It's used, I got it from B&H, thanks B&H. But it's a 25 millimeter 1.2 Olympus lens. Great, phenomenal actually for the GH5. I've been using this lens with our 4LC Studios kit for all our weddings for the past like year or so, and it's probably my favorite lens other than the 45 millimeter 1.2. Forget what that one is. But either way, both of them are beautiful lenses, and I thought for this one, I filmed most of that documentary film that you guys saw on my channel with this lens, with the GH5. Most of it, probably like 75% of that film was made with this very lens, with this very camera body. Not this lens though, because this is super wide for vlogging. But I did get this used. I decided to send back the 25 millimeter 1.8. Great little lens, but I figured I really just love having the ability to have lower f-stop and have that beautiful buttery look that most of us cinematographers are going for. I bit the bullet a little bit, and I went and I got this lens. So I'm really excited about it, as you can tell by the yeah. But more importantly than that, I wanted to talk to you today about audio. Audio is something that I'm still very much learning, but that's what excites me about bringing it to you, is I figured we can kind of learn together. Today, I happened to actually have Scott pull me aside and said, hey, I really want to start to show you audio, and so that you can start to do it yourself when it comes to editing and all that kind of stuff for our company. With video, most of the time anyway, audio is right there with it, and it took me a long time to understand how important audio actually is. I figured since today, the entire premise of today in the office here was for me to learn how to do audio, like how to not only get good audio, but also how to fix audio, repair audio, and do audio for post-production. And you know, since I'm here documenting my journey, and part of that journey today happens to be me learning about audio, I figured why not bring you along for the ride with me and learn from the guy that I've met that happens to know audio the best. I never met somebody that knows it as well as he does.
So the unique part about me is that before I ever even picked up a camera, I was a musician for 12 to 15 years of my life, as like that was my full-time thing. So naturally, all I had was audio, because audio was that's music. I didn't film stuff, so I didn't really think about that side of it. So audio became the most important thing to me from the beginning, because it was everything. When I started to get into cameras, naturally, I always was trying to figure out how to make audio sound the best that it possibly could. And then I started to quickly realize how like filmmakers don't even think about audio most times. I mean, audio is just so much more important than I think people realize. And I challenge you like to look at a bunch of things that you watch on YouTube or that you come across on TV. And TV is a bad example because TV is gonna have usually pretty good audio, but YouTube or Facebook or different videos, you'll be shocked to realize how quickly you turn something off because the audio is bad, not because the actual content is bad, and vice versa. So I could come up with a million different tips of how to get audio to sound better and all those, but obviously we don't have time for that in a short little video. But I think one of just the biggest issues that I see people make is that they just don't really think about audio. And so what happens, I see a lot of people, is that they pick a lens they like, or they pick a look they want, and they get the depth of field all set up the way they want, but they forget that audio still has to play a factor somewhere. And Without the knowledge of that, you obviously can't get better audio. So a couple quick things that you can do when you don't have a lot of gear is a Rode Video Mic Pro sounds good, but it only sounds good if it's close to your subject. So if you are able to even do something as simple as get an extension cable that will allow you to put your microphone in a better position and still run it to your camera, it'll drastically improve your audio. Just understanding that a lav mic, just because that's the only piece of audio you have, is not always the best situation. There is a time and place for every type of audio setup, and that sounds overwhelming because it somewhat is, because there's a million different reasons that you should choose different audio sources. But I think that it's just important as a filmmaker that you should, if all this stuff sounds like crazy complicated, it means you probably should spend some time learning audio. Because you have to realize that though you don't need to do everything, you know, if you are terrible at audio but you are doing good with your films and you want to hire an audio person, that's great. But it's important to have some audio knowledge for a lot of different things. It'll help you decide what mics to use when, what types of mics to use for a male versus a female, whether you should use a lav or not use a lav, whether you want to see a lav or not, and how to hide it without getting audio mess ups, and what are some frequencies you can cut. All that gibberish that sounds like it's obviously pretty complicated. It can be complicated, but the same way that you've probably spent a ton of time learning why to shoot certain frame rates, shutter speeds, apertures, every little detail that you spend time learning and watching on YouTube, you probably don't spend nearly as much time trying to actually learn how to get better audio, and I'd really challenge you to do it, because you'd be shocked how much more you can get away with stuff. Lackluster video or not perfect video if your audio is really good, but you have to practice it. Put as much time and as much money into your audio as you do video, and I think you'd be blown away by your results. That's probably the #1 mistake I see people make, is they spend $10,000 on a camera body and a lens and all the perfect setup, and then they're like, and I'll just get a $100 microphone and set it next to it. It just doesn't really go hand in hand. The problem with trying to learn audio, especially on YouTube, is that there are a lot of people giving really, really bad information on audio. But I'd really suggest that you find people that audio is their thing, whether you find a field engineer, like a sound engineer that does audio full-time for just live production, or whether you find someone that does it for film, they're, you know, a field mixer, whatever. Try to find people that audio is their specialty. Don't necessarily listen to all filmmakers. But here's the golden rule I go by with everything. If you want to get great audio and you watch a YouTube tutorial of how to get great audio, but their audio doesn't sound good, there's a good chance you shouldn't listen to them. I'm shocked how many people listen to advice of how to get better video or better audio, and yet the thing they're watching doesn't represent it at all, and that should tell you right away whether the person has any sort of knowledge if they're not getting decent audio themselves. I'm happy to help. Pablo's happy to help as he learns more about it. It's something you have to spend a lot of time on it, but it's something that really can separate you when you actually do it well, because most people don't.
So yeah, I hope this is helpful. I want to just make sure that I make it clear. I don't know everything about audio. I don't know everything about even video or really anything, but I've worked really hard at being a cinematographer, a filmmaker, and I'm still working at that. I think being a professional is a mindset, and understanding that you've worked really hard to get where you are, but you're also working hard to never stop learning and to always be growing. And I think audio is just this next step of me being able to make things that I create, both for business and for my own personal brand as well, even better than it's ever been. So I hope this challenged you a little bit today, that if you're making videos, to just think about audio. Now, not necessarily have to be the best at it just yet or perfect. That's not the point. The point is more so, do you really even think about it? And if you don't, why is that? And then it's really good to take time to not only understand how to get good audio, but to how to repair it, how to make it better, so that your videos in turn will then be better than they've ever been. I think audio is important, and I just wanted to share that with you guys today. Hope you're doing well. Really appreciate your time. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things that you have to do. And I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.